Hello everyone, it's Birdie here, the Recycled Hippie Chick. I am just sitting down. My husband, number one, has left with husband number two. I don't know if you've heard me talk about husband number two or not. His name's Brian. He lives up the road from us. He was my buddy in high school. And one of my best buddies in high school. And when Terry and I got married, he took him over. So he's our next. He lives next to our property. So I guess we're neighbors. And I call him husband number two because if I'm stranded and my husband can't help me or is out too far with work, I always call Brian. He's always there for me. He comes and saves me, watches over me if Terry's out of town. So I just call him husband number two. Terry came in and wanted me to go get a coffee with him, and he was like, "Oh darn it!" He was been helping his brother all day with his race car, and he was excited to come in and go get a coffee, and then he forgot. Darn it! He told Brian he was going to go with him and deliver wood. So off he went with Brian to go deliver wood. He walked away like a whipped puppy because you could tell he was just done. He's been out there welding and working on a race car all day, and you could tell he was done, down for the count and ready to come in. And then he forgot. He had to go again. So off he went with husband number two, and now they're off delivering wood. I thought, okay, I don't have to go get coffee with him. I brewed my own and said I'm going to go in and put together a journal. Came in and saw a squirrel. I finished my dingle dangles. Look at these dingle dangles. Man, this thing is loaded with dingle dangles for my bird journal. I went through all my little stuff. I've got a little bird on this charm. I've got a bird on this charm. I got a bird here. I made me a couple air dry clay beads and put on there, and I made me a little soft, I don't know, fabric bead and put on there. And I just had fun last night. Had a broken bracelet. I put it on there. I found a hummingbird pin and a crocheted flower and a button, so I put those on there to make it look like the hummingbird was eating, on the flower. And I found this beautiful mother of pearl button. I'm gonna call it a mother of pearl button. I don't know what it is. I put it on there, and I found this adorable button with an owl on it, so I put it over here for the closure. And I don't know, I may run across other things later and put them on there. There's room if I do. And I put my two signatures in, and so they're all ready to start putting some birds in. I went ahead and did a quick page here, and yeah, I'm ready to get started on this is my smaller bird journal. How big is this? This is about 6.5 by 7. So it's a smaller journal full of beautiful pages and things ready to play in. And yes, looky here. It's crooked, but you know what? I don't care. It's for me. I'm not selling it. I will enjoy it and notice it every time I get to the center, but that's okay. It'll just remind me that we are not perfect, and I am a grungy person, and imperfection is not in my wheelhouse. So I do need to slow stitch me a little bird. I want to put a little bird up here. Where's the other one? This is the one I made watching Janet Nash, and it's just too big. It goes over into my birdhouse, and then you lose it. You don't notice that it's a bird. So I'm going to make one like this, but I'm going to make a smaller one and put it up here in the sky next to the birdhouse. So that'll be something to do when I'm in watching TV. And then I thought, okay, I want to run out and get a cover to make a larger bird book because I've got a lot of large pages. So I went out where my art room used to be and I found a book that is the size I wanted, and I brought it in and I started ripping it apart to make a cover, and I thought, oh my goodness, this would make a great garden junk journal. All I have to do is cover this up here. I'll leave favorite houseplants, and I'll cover this down here, and I will have a beautiful garden book. So I decided to start that today instead. So here we go. I want on this one, I would like a big old fat, oh no, I just heard him walk through the doggy door. The cat is back. I'm not kidding you. He knows when I'm in here. He's been outside all day, and I guarantee you he's going to come in here. I just heard him go through the doggy door. I want a big fat one because I've got a lot of bird pages to go in here. A lot of stuff I could use. And instead of having 5 or 6 bird books, I'm going to make a great big one. So I have not made a great big one, I don't think. So I'm thinking about doing a 3-inch spine. That's going to be huge, isn't it? Oh my goodness, you guys. Hi, Pepper. What have you been doing today? How about we get down and go somewhere else, okay? Let's go. Let me get him a chair, and I'll be right back. Get him settled in. Okay, I think I have him settled in. I put a blanket on a little table under my table. No, he says, you know what? I'm out of here. If I can't have the whole table, I'm out of here. So that is fine by me. Okay, now, I think I want to do a 3-inch spine. I mean, I've not done a 3-inch spine, so now's the time, right? Let's just see if I'm going to like it. I've seen other people do them. I've just never done one. So, I hope you guys are well. I am well. I'm I have energy today. So I thought I would come in here and play. I wonder if you guys have these dilemmas. When I want to do a theme, I like themes. I don't know. A lot of people just do random junk journals. I don't know, I just like a theme. That's totally not straight. I don't care. I don't care. So, my problem is I've got so darn much material and stuff for dingle dangles and buttons. I don't know. You know, I'm missing stuff. I come up with stuff missing since I moved my art room in here from the garage into the house. I'm missing stuff. Which one of these is 3? Which one of these is 3? Now I have come up missing. I had a container out there entitled Amy's Favorite Buttons. You know, I've got a absolutely 3-gallon jars sitting behind me full of buttons. You would think I could find one with a bird on it. I was just sure I saved all those buttons out there in my favorite buttons. Did somebody give this to me? If you're watching right now and you gave this to me, would you let me know? Because I would normally put your name on the back. Well, in a perfect world, I want to put your name on the back and a date, but I didn't, and I just don't remember. I don't think I did this. I could see myself doing this on the background because I actually have a piece of paper like that, but I don't know where this came from. It almost looks like somebody watercolored it for me themselves. But so if you did this for me, will you let me know? And thank you if you did. It's adorable. I wanted to use it, but I didn't know who made it. Okay. So I can't find my favorite buttons. This is going to require some major gluing, isn't it? I mean, we're talking some major gluing. And then I wanted to make my dingle dangles, and I thought, you know, I'm going to have all kinds of broken jewelry that I can put with birds on it that I can use on this journal. I couldn't hardly find any broken jewelry with birds on it. Then I went over there and said, oh, I'm going to find the perfect material to, you know, to put on the inside and outside of this garden. I want to use some of my favorite materials. I just went over there and fished through there and thought nothing is really jumping out at me. So I just grabbed whatever and brought it over here. And normally when I'm going through my material, like to move it in here, I'm seeing stuff that I'm going, oh, that's so precious. I need to use this on a such and such journal or whatever. And today, I can't find it. I can't find anything that was going, oh, that would be so cute on a cowboy journal, or oh, that would be so cute on a ship journal. I wasn't finding anything. Do you guys ever have that? And then when you're not actually building that journal, you run across that stuff all the time. And I have so many boxes of materials that I have not brought out that I just put in the closet, and I'm making these journals thinking, oh, I hope I'm not missing anything in those boxes, you know, but I don't want to go dig everything out and look through it. Do you guys ever have that? Because when I watch videos, the people that are making the videos seem to just have everything already accessible, laid out, matched, you know, all that stuff. And I'm not going to take days to do that, to make a video. I'm just not. I just give up. Grab what's there that halfway matches the colors on this book cover and say, get on with it. Get on with it. Let's make a garden journal. But I just wonder if you guys all ever do that, because, you know, their dingle dangles are perfect when they put them on and they match what they're doing and the colors of the material are perfect. And that hasn't been my case. I can't believe I added more glue, because I thought, wow, that was quite a glob on there. But I'm sure using it. Okay, now let's stick that willy-nilly material down, shall we? So I'm starting with the inside. And I'm leaving a little space in between so that it will be comfortable when it shuts. And I'm going to use this for the inside, and I have not cut it yet, so we're just going to stick it on and cut it after the fact. May have to stand up to do this, and this is one of those materials that I cannot tell if it has a right side or a wrong side. I have to think here for a minute, and I can feel myself wiggling this around, so it's not going to be, I'm going to have to straighten it all up again on the outside. Oh boy, maybe I should do it this. No. I mean, honestly, I've got it crooked, I know. I'm just going to go for it because I just want to relax and play. And if it ain't perfect, that's fine. Just get over that nonsense, right? I have a runny nose, like I always do. I'm going to have to stop here in a minute and blow my nose. Just a minute. Okay, did I tell you guys I think I'm allergic to my house? Yeah. Just runny, runny, runny. And never used my hanky hardly at all when I was on vacation. Okay, now, I'm not going to take medication. I'm not. My sister-in-law gave me some stuff to take when I left, and I didn't really think about it, but it's not natural. And I'm just not going to take medication. I'll live with it because I don't want to take medication. You know, I was talking to a friend whose husband just found out he has diabetes. And you know what his doctor told him? Oh yeah, he wasn't surprised. He said a lot of people who take blood pressure medication end up to be diabetic from the blood pressure medication. Can this be true? Yeah, we'll take care of your blood pressure, and then a couple years down the line, we'll put you on insulin because you'll be diabetic. That is just ridiculous to me. I'm not going to take medication to take care of one problem only for it to give me another problem. So I just my problem is, you know, I don't know if I talk about it on here, but I pick weeds out of my yard and make tinctures out of them. I'm constantly coming up with another tincture, and I make them with vodka. You have to put the weeds in the jar, and I don't know if I can tear this way or not. Put the weeds in the jar, cover the whole thing with 100 proof vodka, and let it set in your cupboard for 3 months, 3 to 6 months. I usually do 4. And then you take out all the plant matter and you have a tincture. And I make all these tinctures and love to do it, but I can't take them. I would if there was an emergency, like if poop hit the fan and, you know, we're having to live like pioneers again, I would take them. But I cannot handle the alcohol with the lime. Alcohol and caffeine just send me over the edge. I can't even take NyQuil. So I don't even take my own tinctures. I share them with people. I keep some of them in my apothecary, or whatever you call it, my cupboard, in case there's ever an emergency and we need it. And the rest I give to friends. I took some down to Mississippi, gave it to my sister-in-law. And I don't use it. So I have everything in there I would need for allergies. But I don't take it. I'm off camera here for a second. I'm just cutting off a crooked part over here. Oh, yeah, I'm okay. I thought I got this backwards, and I did, but you know what? Nobody's going to notice it because it's mine. Nobody's going to be in here looking at my junk journals but me. I have the back cover on backwards, but that's okay. The only way you would know it is that the raw end that I cut off the spine is Oh, no. No, it's not. I'm okay. I'm okay. I'm just cutting these off, and I don't know why, because I don't know why. I'm thinking this needs to be up closer, but I am. Really, I think it would probably be cute hanging off all raggedy like that. But I'll probably put a piece of lace or something over that to hang off the edge. Why did I don't know. I want to be grungy there, but I'm not able to. I don't know why I cut these off. Little problems we need to figure out doing art therapy. I need to make myself leave these ragged as part of my therapy. Okay, now this part here, I want this little, it's a vintage tea towel, and I want to cut these out, and I want them over here on the cover. So let's try to get it halfway the right length right now. And I can just hear Loretta saying, "Oh, you're grungy, Amy. You're grungy enough." I know you're saying that, Carol. Her name's Carol and Loretta all in one. That's why I kind of call her both. Okay, let's kind of fussy cut this. I'm going to fussy cut this out, and I will be back. Okay, I'm not liking it. I cut this too. I knew it when I went in, and I said, "Oh, Bertie, you should have measured that, because it's clear over." You can't see it, but it's clear over into here. And I'm barely over here. I want a little bit, you know, to be able to be structurally sound. I'm only this far from the edge with this piece of material. So I don't like the way it looks with this. It's covering up the letters. I don't like that. So I don't quite know what I'm going to do. Maybe I'll just paint this and do something over here. I don't quite know what I'm going to do. But I'm going to go ahead and put it together, and I'll deal with that later. What I think I'm going to do is take a piece of this and stick under here to make that. You know what I mean? To give that some more structure. So it'll stick out like that right here. So what I'm going to do is I don't know where. Yeah, you guys are just going through all these problems with me. I don't know where I need to lay this. I want it to be under that other piece. So let's see how that works out. Anyway, I forgot to tell you guys, I noticed, I watched my video back. I forgot to tell you on the part where the abandoned little village was, the Army-Navy hospital, that was in Hot Springs, Arkansas. We were downtown, walking all downtown where the bathhouses are. And that's when we noticed that big building, wondered what it was, and then we accidentally ran across it on our little hike. So that is where we were, was Hot Springs, Arkansas. Let's see what I need to do here. I think this could go over a little more this way. There we go. I'd like for those to match up a little more right there. And that's fine. Beautimous. Okay. Put that down. And also, I didn't mention, you know, when we were leaving the Devil's Den to head back to Fayetteville to a parts store to get a new alternator, Terry said on the way back, let's pray that the Lord gets us there safely, because when your alternator goes out, it can make your battery explode. And I'm like, oh, great. That's what I want to worry about the next 45 minutes. So we prayed, and the Lord did get us there. But when the guy came out to do a test on the battery to make sure it didn't damage the battery, because we would have had to buy another battery too, we popped the hood, and there was steam coming out of both sides of the battery. There were these little vent holes, one on each side at the top of the battery, and there was just steam shooting out of both sides. So I'm like, thank you, Lord, for getting us here on a close call. So he said, boy, you guys got here in the nick of time. Look at the steam coming out of that battery. Yeah, that's the way the Lord works it with us. He likes to watch us wiggle and see where our faith is at. Likes to watch us squirm. But our philosophy is, even if we do break down or something happens, we always just say, okay, Lord, what was the reason for that? What did we need to learn? Who did we need to talk to? Nope, we're not going to do this. I've got glue going down. Stay over there, Pepper. Do not walk over here. You know, we always try to figure out what the Lord had, why. Why did that happen? And what was his reasoning for that? Maybe it was somebody we needed to talk to. Maybe we needed to be stalled because there was an accident ahead that, you know, we may have been saved from. You never know what those reasons are. That you think God's not answering your prayers, but really, he is. It just probably wasn't in the way you had planned. But everything turned out. We got there safely. We got our repair done. I'm so thankful that I have a handyman husband. He just thinks that's the coolest thing when he has to fix something with hardly nothing. And all he had was this box of tools in the back that he grabs and puts in whatever vehicle we're going in, you know. So that if something happens, he's got at least a roll of duct tape and some baling wire, right? A screwdriver and some pliers and a socket set. Some channel locks, of course. That's my favorite tool. Anyway. There. What do we think about that? Okay, now, let's go ahead and just slap some paint over here, because all this has to dry, so we might as well just let it all dry at one time. This is kind of purple. Yeah, it shows that on the TV. Everything has stopped. There, now it's jumping ahead. That's weird. It's not showing me a live version on my TV. Anyway, I'm sure you're probably seeing it. We have some purple here, and I've got red and green here, and we've got green and green. So I'm wondering if I should throw some red up here to tie this all in. I don't quite know what I should get. Let me go see what I've got in my paint cupboard. Okay. I've only... Nope. Stay over there. I've only got like 2 reds left, and this one's this is the one I want, though. I think what we'll do is put some gesso on there first, just to give it a little bit of tooth on this book. Yeah, I'm going to have to put red on my list. I was really hoping to use those paints down before I had to replenish, but some things you just got to have. Pepper, do not sneak up here. You are a booger. Don't. Okay. I may have to shut her down here in a minute and push pause because he is right here to my left. I don't know if you can see him. Oh, this. And he is right in a place where he could dump my coffee and everything else. Okay, now. Let's get some red on there. I'm going to have to dry this and I'll be right back. Okay, you know what he does? He wants my chair. He did this last night. I have this big cushy roller chair with a pillow on it that I have for me to sit in. And then I have just a kitchen chair over here next to me where my sewing machine is. And I put a blanket in that thinking, well, he'll leave me alone, you know, if I give him. No, he didn't want that. He wanted my chair. So then I have to move my chair over there and move the sewing chair over here that I can sit in. I wish I could show you. And he's perfectly comfortable. He'll leave me alone the rest of the time. A little pain in my booty. Okay, let's see what this is. I don't know what we're going to do. I don't know what this is going to look like. I don't know what I'm going to put up here, but if I can just get it built and started, I'll run across something or a picture I can glue up here or something later. This is just sufficing me until I run across something else, because there's no plans in my life for this stuff. I just start it and, you know, add stuff later. As I'm doing my pages, I might run across a pretty picture that goes, oh, that would look pretty on the front, you know, a big rose or something maybe. Who knows? Who knows what we'll run across? Hi, KK. I know you're probably watching me. How are you today? Matter of fact, this may be one of your tea towels or tablecloths or whatever I got this strip of material off of may have come from your house. If you recognize it, thank you. If not, I don't know where I got it. He's actually, KK, Pepper's actually laying on a pillow that came from your house. It was a dog pillow, real thin. It was a black dog pillow, and the head and the ears are hanging off the end this way, and the feet are hanging off the end this way, and it's black trimmed in gold, and that's what I sit on in my chair, and that's what the cat has taken over. Okay, drying. Okay, I think I'm actually going to just end this right here because I don't have everything ready to make my pages or anything. So that's going to be a pretty thick junk journal, isn't it? But it'll be fun. It'll be fine. But it'll be perfect for garden and flowers and stuff like that. I do want to get you guys' opinion on something. I'll set this aside to dry. When I was looking for my Dingle Dangle stuff, I ran across these letters. Mailbox letters, probably, aren't they? From back in the day. I think this is probably an I. I'm going to have to figure out a word. There's 3 E's and an S. I don't know which way the N goes. I think it goes this way. Anyway, any ideas what I can do with these in my junk journals? I thought about making a word, but I can't come up with a word. What do you think? What could I do with these? Any suggestions? Because I want to use them. They're absolutely adorable. They're kind of sharp. I guess I could tie string on both of them every once in a while and put one on a dingle dangle, because there's a hole at the top and a hole at the bottom. I could put part of my dingle dangle here and continue it down here. And just use them random, just a random letter here and there, couldn't I? But other than that, does anybody have any nifty ideas of what I could do with these? Leave them in the comments. I'm going to stop there. Thanks for joining me. Bye-bye from Birdie.